Night one, I come upstairs and I made $2,500. This is how I left my W-2 and became a full-time wedding photographer.
Peter Mackey, living the dream. So many people watching want to know just exactly how you did that.
So going back to, around 2017 and years prior to that, working my W-2, I was an IT guy at a community college. It was a great gig, honestly. It was very low stress, great benefits with vacation, all of the things, the golden handcuffs, right? The things that keep you in a full-time job like that. But I just wasn't really feeling as fulfilled as I wanted to in life, right? I wanted to be more creative, and I was doing photography on the side for many years in videography, right? So as my business was growing, the pressure to kind of like leave the full-time job was looming, but worrying about bills and paying for health insurance and that, secure income, that guaranteed income of a salary was what I was sort of questioning everybody about. Like, should I do it? Shouldn't I do it? But everything was telling me to do it, like everything inside of me. So that's sort of like what it was like before the jump. The missing piece that allowed me to leave my W-2 is when I really embraced like learning how to design and sell albums and product. Specifically, that's really what did it for me. And it was really amazing because I learned some IPS from Steve Saporito, right? We all know and love Steve. I did a class with him in 2017 where I met some people that are just absolute killers in the industry in that class. And I went and deployed some of that knowledge and it worked. So what happened was I was coming home from my normal job. I would hang out with the kids, put them to bed. And then basically I carved out a week where I stacked all my weddings, all my album designs that week. So I had basically like a Monday to Friday every night. So at first these were taking me 2.5 hours to do over Zoom. And night one, I come upstairs and I made $2,500 upgrade, right?
So let's repeat that. First time, night one, designed an album, sat down, showed the clients over Zoom, $2,500.
Right? My wife can't believe it. We did it. Night two, around the same. I did it again, right? Night three, I think, was zero. Nice goose egg that night.
Yeah, and that's important. People need to realize that every once in a while you get a goose, you get zero. And sometimes the first time you get zero. So don't be discouraged. Keep going.
So the goose egg is never a problem because we're talking about averages here. If you're doing 20 weddings a year or 50 weddings a year, I mean, just average it out. If you can upgrade $1,000 on average, I mean.
So that's a great piece of math that I always love for people to do. So weddings for an average person that's maybe not great at IPS, but it's kind of okay. Like, for example, me, I'm a B- photographer, but I'm an A in sales. So I always did well. But let's say you're an A+ photographer and you're a B- in sales. What do you think that average album upsale could be realistically?
I think if you're a good or even a decent photographer and you're okay, like a B+ at album sales, $1,000 upgrade is sort of an average. It's easy. It's not a huge ask. $800, $1,200, somewhere in there. Eventually you'll get to those $4,000 and $5,000 upgrades, and they'll be amazing. And you'll get a few of those in a row and get cocky. And then somebody will come in and do $800 and you'll be like, oh man, but you still walk away like, wait, no, that was great. And they love it.
So we've kind of covered generalities, but let's hop into a very specific example. Tell us about this couple.
Yeah, so this is Paige and Brian, super fun couple, really elegant. Like the bride was just, had a great family, like really beautiful, lots of really nice people. Brian was great, very nervous type of energy with him. He was pretty funny. He was more particular than the bride, which is very that's rare, I think, in most of our cases. Like the bride has a vision and knows what she wants. This bride was kind of chill. She's like, do your thing. Brian was very much like, hey, can we do that? And like after we're doing the album design, I mean, this is Brian's album. Let's be real. So it was an interesting scenario. And the reason I chose this one is because it was recent. And this isn't a huge upgrade. I mean, this was, I think they were a little under $2,000 or something like this on this album upgrade.
Wonderful. Okay, so tell us about your design process. So
yeah,
from choosing the images to designing the album, everybody has a different workflow in Fundy Designer, and that's what people are interested in learning.
So in Fundy Designer, my workflow looks like this. I bring all of the photos in, obviously. So I think there's, whatever, there's 1,000 photos from this couple. I bring all of them in, and I think of the day in scenes, right? So I always open an album with a full spread of the couple. I just pick one I love that I think they look good. And then let's get into the details, like the pretty stuff that kind of sets up the day, the invitations, the rings. And then I just move through the day kind of in those scenes. Okay, here are the girls getting ready. Here are the boys. Here was their first look. They read some personal vows to each other. Then we did some family portraits. So I really just move sequentially through the day. And if I was the photographer on the wedding, I remember those moments. So I can just literally grab them. I use 2 screens, right? So on the screen on the right, I just have all the thumbnails. I just drag them in. Honestly, it takes me no longer than usually 15 minutes to design an album. And it's funny because I've gone to get on a Zoom with a couple to do an album design and been like, I thought I designed this thing already. Like, and then I just quick throw a design together in 10 minutes before the meeting. And I've had some great successes with that because, again, like the photos are there, you know what the moments are. And if you really just think about the day in those scenes, you can just drag those scenes out. And then I leave it up to the couple to say, hey, we photographed every guest as they were getting seated at the ceremony. They're all here. Do you want to see all them? You might not see them later on the dance floor. This might be the place. And I just give them the opportunity to say, yeah, we love that, or let's lose that completely,
All right. So what are some of your favorite features that save you time when you're designing?
I love the the 2-arrow little flippy guy on the side, the redesign.
So are you talking here?
There is fine for me. That sometimes is a little too much for my brain. I like it on the smaller screen. To me, that's beautiful because I can do that really quick and then be like, yep, that's what I like. And then I'll go in and tweak from there. So I love that feature. That is one of my favorite. I like that you can drag those lines now because, in previous versions you couldn't. That's a favorite. I like the hotkeys. Like I like to be able to hit P when I'm choosing for panorama when I know it's going to be like a full spread. Just because, again, then when you go to the auto designer, I just filter by P and groups and it throws them all in together.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is, for example, if we want this photo here to be a panorama, for the auto design, I can hit P, and that's tagged as a panorama, so that when you hit the design for me or the design wizard, it will make that a panel, right? So you can storyboard that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Okay, now we're going to jump into some hot fire questions. So this is for people who maybe are not great at album sales or IPS or products and want to jump in and get started. So what album is included in your wedding package?
Yeah, perfect. I think I'm very much in line with what a lot of people I hear do, right? I'm super simple. It used to be a 10 by 10. I've downsized that to an 8 by 8. So now I can upgrade to a 10 or a 12, but I'm an 8 by 8 and 10 spreads, 10 design spreads, 20 pages.
Perfect. What album size do you think is the most purchased by your clients?
The 10 by 10 album is the most purchased by my clients. It's the most popular.
Okay, most popular pages, ranges, most popular covers.
Let's see. Okay, most popular size, 10 by 10 for sure. Leather cover, raised letters. Blacksmith albums are like, you can't beat them. They're amazing. Shout out to Brady. They're hard to turn down. The couples normally will say to me, like, you are making this so hard. I'm like, hey, it's a good problem to have. You love all these photos so much.
Yep. That's one of my favorite Jerry Gionis quotes is, it's my job to tempt you. It's your job to say no.
Correct. Perfect.
And he tells that to his clients. Okay. Price per image or per page with your albums?
I'm a per spread guy. Okay. So don't come at me, you guys. I know people are like, oh, per image. And then you can, $35 an image. I want to be done quickly. So I'm a per spread guy. I want to do these sessions in I'll tell people hey, if we can be in and out of this in under an hour, I'll cut you a break. I'll throw you a free canvas or something. Let's go.
Okay. So when you are doing a slideshow for your clients, is it a slideshow of just the images or a slideshow of the designs and the images or just the designs?
Good question. So when I'm doing a slideshow at the beginning of my IPS session with a couple, we're jumping on Zoom most of the time. I'm showing them a slideshow of what I have pre-designed as their complete and perfect album. I'm not showing all the images.
I think that's the number one biggest mistake that people make. You show what you want to sell, right? You're not selling individual images, you're selling an album design. So we're going to switch from albums real quick to wall art for like engagement sessions, single images or collections.
Yes, so for engagement sessions, I've had success with large canvases, like one or two, and guest signing books, so those work well. So for wall art, one or two pieces. I don't want to overwhelm them, but I'll sell two of the pieces and then we'll leave two of them to be wedding photos in the future. So that has been a successful way of doing it as well, is like pre-sell them four and then we're just going to choose two after the wedding and they're happy with that.
And for those of you out there that haven't done it, there are signing book designs in Fundy Designer that leaves that blank space for the guests to sign in.
Yeah, those are great.
What is your tip for people who haven't done album sales or wall art sales for their clients yet?
Yes, the big tip to help you jump in right now is next time you offer a package to the next person you book, just include a basic album in the package. Because right now you're probably not including an album. And so it's a harder sell afterward because you have to sell them something that doesn't exist yet. But if there's already something in the package, well, they're expecting something, like a basic something, and then you have the opportunity to sell them more. So it's simple to just say like, hey, it's included, it's basic. When it comes time to do the design session, we can go crazy and make it huge and do all of that. And you kind of like set the stage for that. So include it, something basic, and then you're just gambling on yourself with like the $300 of a basic album. Really now all you have to do is sell them 3 additional spreads or upgrade the size and you've covered the cost. And I believe you can all do that. I'm Pete Mackey and that's my story.